we also need to have set policies and limits on winnings and losings. So, and then also, a lot of people wondered how much money they should take to the casino. And general answer in all the books and videos, I think it's great. Uh, and that is the amount where you're not gonna cry the next day. If the amount is, and it's a difficult question to answer because a lot of times we're able to go to the casino and win back whatever we lost. That can happen. But then what if it doesn't happen? So what if you set a limit of, say, like, $300 or something, and then this is all you're gonna take to the casino every day, and then you lose it, and then you end up going to ATM and drawing another 300, and you lose that too. Now you lost $600. So a person with a small bankroll, that's a high amount for them, and you cannot have these psychological hits on yourself. Sometimes you just gotta walk away, and start a different day. It's just like again, it's a coin toss. And sometimes going to a casino is like the heads, but you really wanted tails. So if you go to ATM, you toss the coin again, it's gonna be heads again, and you didn't get your tails, so you just lost twice. And it's you could call it whatever you want, but it's basically the mathematics behind it. You can't get heads after heads after heads. It just won't happen, and that's how it is. So it's in every game is for those card games. It happens all the time. 50% of the time, the cards are basically stacked against you. 50% of the time, it's going to be like that. Only 50% they're going to be designed, stacked correctly or nicely, and then you get to when it comes to the count is really high, you place your bet and bang, you hit it. That's only 50% of the time. But when you do hit it, it's so large, and the winnings are so large that all your losers are not going to count. So that's what you need to consider. And you need to have limitations as far as what you bring in and what your bankroll is, and that's a whole different discussion. But we can. This is just about how much you bring with you to the casino. So a good policy would be to, maybe leave your wallet in the car, someplace safe in your car. And then just take your driver's license and your cash that you're gonna use to play. And most nights you're not gonna be able to play all the skills that you learn here. That's just gonna be too many hours. There's gonna be too much thinking, especially when you're new. There's different counts. Each game has a different count, and when you're exhausted, when you're overworking yourself, then you're gonna start making mistakes, and mistakes lead to losses. So each night that you go out, you're probably just gonna play. If it's a major casino with the slot machines, you probably don't want to play any sort of card games, because if they throw you out, now you lost the casino. And let's say you only have 6 or 10 or 12 around you within an hour's drive, and that's just one less that you're gonna be able to go to. So any major casino with slot machines, you only want to play the craps game and slots and video poker, and that's it. That's all you want to play. So you're really limited to 3 games, right? So after you've trained for these games, what you could do is, just set a limit on how much you want to budget yourself on. If you, if $300 is not a big deal to you, I would just bring $300. You go to the best game that you know first, or what's available. So let's work on that. When it comes to the craps game, for instance, you usually want to be on right side of the dealer, okay? Because that's the closest to the back wall. But if that place is taken and you're depending on your own uh, tossing, shooting, then you can't play because the people that go to casinos and they shoot dice, they you don't know how often they go. Maybe they just go once every 6 months, and they could care less if they lose. They're there to drink beer and have fun at your expense. So you can't start investing in them, in these people, unless you know the shooter. But let's talk about that too. Just because the shooter is great, it doesn't mean they're going to shoot great today, right? And then just because they had a great role previously, it doesn't mean they can repeat that. Most of us have one great role per night, and then somehow we can do a second time maybe, but rolling 3 or 4 times a night is unusual. So again, it's okay if you notice if while you're training for craps, what you might want to do is every night that you're in the casino, maybe go and take a look at the shooters and see who's a serious shooter, and try to remember who they are. So that if you're not a professional shooter yet, and you want to go and make money, then you know when to approach the table. Now, I wouldn't approach the table until the good shooters are ready to shoot. Why? Well, because you can't go and first of all, $100 is not a big amount for a crap table, right? So when you throw your $100 in there, they're not going. They're going, oh wow, big high roller here, So that's a bad start, right? But then you can't take up a space when there's a whole bunch of people waiting to play, and not place any bets. That's not going to look good, So what you want to do is wait, because if you're not shooting, you can go anywhere on the table, right? So wait until all these bad shooters are done, and then when your shooter's coming up next, that's when you go and buy chips and start to bet on them. Okay, so these are just table ideas, things that you gotta follow, so you're not getting into it. They don't look at you funny every time you go there. You don't want to look like some kind of a person that's a low income person that comes in and trying to make $20. They're not gonna like you. So I would wait and until the shooters are coming up, and that's when I would buy the chips and start playing. There's a lot of little things in the paid section. We go through all of that. Your image is very important in a casino. You want to have respect. You don't want people, there's nothing they can do. They can't throw you out because you're not a high roller. They can't do that. But, you don't want to get into arguments with people. You don't want people making fun of you. There's certain etiquettes that you have to follow. And this is just one of them. So if you walk up to the table and there's no place to stand, or there's no the right side of the shooter, or your favorite spot, the spot that you're good at, is not open, you obviously can't that can't be a first game, right? Even if it's your best game. So now you got a problem. So you got two things you could do. Okay, you could just go sit somewhere near the crap table and wait, which is not a bad idea. Sit there and wait and see if you can identify more shooters that you want to invest on. Okay, so this is a great idea. The best thing you can do. Well, you don't want to be like furniture in a casino. You don't want to be seen just sitting around and doing. That's just not a great thing, you know. But sometimes you have to. You got no choice. So if you have to, then take advantage of it, right? And just sit there and see if you can identify some shooters. Um, Hopefully you get in and you try your $100 there, and maybe you'll make money, right? Okay. So when do you walk away? Well, when you walk away is when you've doubled your money. You know, that's a good return. You came in with 100, now you got $200. Okay, and somehow you threw a seven. Well, whenever you throw the seven, okay, and you've made a profit, you need to walk away. Okay? If you've lost money, obviously you need to. A lot of people walk away too, but if you can't lose, if you don't want to lose your spot on the table, it gets difficult, you know. So, you know, what do? You know, if you stick around, you can't just stand there and not place any bets. You know, it's not gonna look good. So, you might have to go, you know, go to drink some coffee or something for a while, and then hopefully you get another spot. All right, so, and then there's gonna be situations where you don't make any money; you just break even. Well, that is a form of winning. In a casino, that's a form of winning. You know, sometimes you lose, sometimes you win, sometimes you break even. If you're going up and down like crazy, you come in with 100, then you go up to 120, then you go to 80, then you go to 120, then back to 180. You just you know, up and down like that. Then that just may be your break even day, and don't push it. You know, you're not. Things are not going too well. That's what's happening. Again, they're not on falling on tails. They're falling on heads. And you're just being lucky. You know. So I would say this is not your day. End that game, and maybe walk over to video poker. You know, go in there and see what you could do on that. Right? And you might have the same situation, because if you play with $100, you're probably gonna play quarter machines, you know, because dollar machine will be, you'll go through your $100 quickly. And most video games, including Jacks Better, they are the reason people spend so much time playing them, because there's a lot of back and forth, you know. You win $1, you lose $1. You win $2, you lose $3. You lose, and or in certain situations you just lose and lose and lose, and you just keep losing. You know, so you start with 100, and after about an hour, you're down to $80 now. You've lost $20 and no major winnings, right? And then all of a sudden, after about 2 hours, you hit a four of a kind, and you make $150. Now that's not bad. You started with 100, you just made $150, 2.5 times your investment. And you know, you could pay a little more, right? You got 100. Let's say you made $158. Let's say. Well, I'll just pay. If it's just back and forth and you're not getting anywhere, you've been there 2-3 hours, now you're getting tired. Okay. So I would pay another $8 and check out at 150. That's a decent. These games, the way we train you, they're just designed to make $200 per game. You know, so you're gonna probably make $600 a day. That's a lot. You know, $600 a day. That's $200,000 a year. This is a very serious income. Or more? What is it? Yeah, more. So for $250,000 a year. But when you go to a casino, you have to understand, money means nothing. That's why they give you chips, because they want you to say, I got nothing. $250,000 is nothing. Since when? You know, but they want you to think that way. They want you to think that you can make so much. Look at this person. They just made $2,400. This person made it. God, you know, you can't look at other players. You need to look at, so the terminology we're going to be using during the paid training is never that you made $600 that day. We're gonna make, say, you made $250,000 that day. That's how you gotta think. Okay? You never ever make $100 a day. You know, you make $365,000 a day because you go into a casino every day, and hopefully you win every day. Because some days you're gonna lose, but some days you're gonna make $500-600. So if you make 100 today, 100 tomorrow, you lose 100, you make 700 on the fourth day. What happens? At the end of the year, you're still gonna have $365,000. That's the terminology we use. It helps you to stop playing and take your profit out. And don't think that it's just not that much money. It's a lot of money. $100 a day. It's a lot of money. It's $365,000 a year. If you can somehow think like that, which is almost impossible in the beginning, then you're not gonna have problems in this business. And some days, like we talked about, you're gonna have to just break even and go home, because you still got that budget from today that you can use tomorrow, right? So you didn't lose anything, just gas. Big deal. Tomorrow didn't make money. To break even, and then on the losses, you might have limits too. If you're just playing at $300, that means you don't have a huge bankroll, so $100 per game, it could be important to you, even though that's nothing to a lot of us, But it could be important to you if you're just starting with a small amount. So can you really afford to lose that $100? What I mean by that is it a good idea for you to stop playing if you've lost $40 and you just don't see how you're gonna do any better? Yes, it's a great idea. Save the $60. Lose $40. Let's say you're playing video poker. You sit down, you start playing, then after about say an hour, you've lost $20 now, and you just realize that you showed up at the wrong time, at a wrong machine at the wrong time, and you just don't see how you're gonna make any money on that machine. So that's a great time to check out. There's just really, this part is something that requires a lot of practice, and it's hard to know when you should check out. But after a while, you get an idea for your style of playing, and how effective you're working. We've sort of established when you should leave, at what point. So on the winnings, I wouldn't win. On video poker, you could probably win whatever you want because nobody knows how much you're winning. Well, if it's over 1,200, then they know. On the table games, like I said, in casinos where they have slot machines, you're not even gonna. I wouldn't play. I'd go to card rooms and play blackjack or baccarat or Spanish 21. But even Spanish 21, sometimes you're playing, you're betting $25 on the side bet. So if you get a suited match, well, how much is that? Like $300, almost $400. So that may be close to when you should leave. It's for one thing, the possibilities of getting another one is 1 out of 12, right? But you may not be the person that gets the suited match. So now you're just playing for beans, you're making small amounts, and you're giving the casino more and more time to look at you and see what you look like. So that may be your limit there, Maybe grab your $400 profit and just get out, Again, that's $200,000. It's not $400. That's $200,000 you just made. But you're gonna go next night. You gotta go to another place, another place. So, we have a profit margin, set at certain levels per casino, and I wouldn't make more than that, if I were you. If you really need to make money, then you might go to a second casino. That's not a good idea either, because you just want to, go to casinos once every great while, so they don't recognize you as easily. A break even is pretty obvious when if you're going up and down, nothing's happening. You more than likely you're gonna get tired and you're gonna lose it all. So if you're not getting anywhere, you want to just go ahead and check out. Maybe you've lost $10. Big deal. Just check out. It's not your day. Things are not going well. And on the losses, like I said, it's the same thing. If you just go up and down, nothing's working. Just grab, walk away with your losses. Try another day. This is a major subject, and it's not something you do in one session. We don't like to just do one video, because what will happen, they'll just go in one ear and out the other. So we like to split into different sections. That's all we want to cover in this video, and we'll have more videos later. And thank you for watching.